Yeah, okay. I believe you. I see Havoc Control. You're playing Havoc Control.
SDX audio. Ready to pair. Auxiliary mode. Ready to pair. Auxiliary mode. Ready to pair. Auxiliary mode. Ready to pair.
Yeah, this gig, they might want me for 2 nights, but I told them that I can't do 2 nights unless I got a really good Wi-Fi connection or I can tap into the Ethernet. Otherwise, fuck them. I'll just come home. Well, I don't know if I can trust the Wi-Fi over in the campground. Do a show. Well, if I'm doing Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be not here on the Sunday. I'd have to live stream from the camp. I mean, I guess I could come home and go back, but I don't want to do that. Fucking hour-long ferry ride each way. And plus, that time of year, usually you got to wait for a ferry. You got to get in there early. It's all fucking backed up in the summer. I've seen people wait 2-3 hours. I've had to wait 2 hours to get across the goddamn lake. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm ready. 2. And the birds are going away. And the birds are going away.
Oh, yeah.
And the birds.
Yeah.
The birds are gone. All right, hey, it's the Canuck here, and I'm broadcasting live from Beijing, China, from the closing ceremony. See? Good spot, huh? That we got for this.
You got good seats.
I'm live, and I snuck in. I didn't show any passports or COVID stuff. I'm not supposed to be here. And I was talking to the leader of China just before we went on air, and he says he's very happy. He's a very happy people. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't BS you. You know, I'm a professional journalist. You know, I am live in Beijing. See?
No doubt.
You let me down on the floor and everything. See, I got the girls here. Look. See, I got a date with the one in the middle after we finish the show.
Nice. I gotta update.
No, I wouldn't BS you on any of this. You know?
No, I realize that. Yep.
No, I'm responsible journalist, dude. I saw us on I saw us on D Live, dude. I saw it.
Good. You're back. You are back. You are live. I've got to update the stream title. I might have to start and stop the stream again.
Oh, you probably should anyway.
All right. The stream title is updated. We had the old one from last week, but that's updated.
Okay.
But I think we're looking good. Audio and
Nice.
video is there.
Sweet.
We got a lot to go
Sunny
over.
day. Oh God, we
Emergency
sure do.
Powers Act in Canada. We've got protest vandalism in British Columbia. We've got Olympic updates, Ukraine, Russian conflict updates, and crypto updates, and also hacking updates that everyone should be aware of. 0 day, no-click hacks on the rise, 0 day breaking records last year. We'll see what happens this year, but a lot going on.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, the only thing that a hack was a taxi cab, right? I mean,
Wait, what?
well, hacks were taxi cabs, right? They don't call them that anymore.
No. Oh, no, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that's
NYC, baby,
era.
yeah.
That's a bygone era, I think.
It was before you were born, all right? Oh, and for those of you that missed it, I am broadcasting live from Beijing and the closing ceremonies. I'm down on the floor
you're going to have
right
an
now.
interview with Xi Jinping, right?
He said he might. No. You know what he said? He said he was going to take the Fifth Amendment. So there's no sense interviewing him.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what's the point, right? If somebody's going to take the Fifth Amendment. I don't know.
Wow.
It's not easy. Man, I had to sneak into the freaking China. You know how I did it?
How?
I put on a panda suit and I had one of them little dolls that they give out, and they thought I was part of the closing ceremonies.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're good. I think we're good to go. And before you get us banned, we're gonna shut things down real quick. But we're gonna be streaming back up at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for the Canuck Yankee show. Just gotta get some things tweaked. Yeah. No, we're gonna be on YouTube right now. We're on YouTube right now. So.
Are we? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Oh yeah, we are.
All right. So I'm gonna put the promo video back on. Stop the stream real quick, but I don't think there'll be any kind of interruption. We'll find out. All right. See everybody in a little bit. Checks in the mail later.
Yeah, I see us. We're on YouTube, and we are on D-Live. YouTube's a little quicker feed than D-Live by about 3 seconds.
All right, we are live. Got the show notes live. Go ahead and test your mic.
Oh, checking. Yeah, sorry, I was just texting somebody. Typical friggin' new age millennium old guy here. Yeah, it's the Canuck and Yankee show. We got a whole bunch of stuff today. A whole bunch of stuff from my country, the Dominion of Canada, and all the havoc that has been going on here. And should be pretty interesting. We've got a whole bunch of different angles, but we're going to try to not be opinionated about it. We'll let you form your own judgment. And once again, I am broadcasting live from Beijing, China, the closing ceremonies. I want to thank my support crew. I think it's CBC for providing the feed for me. You should have come along, man. I had a great meal. Oh my God! And we got a video of it later. I got the same thing as the quarantine people did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really.
You must be really fulfilled and satisfied.
Well, I brought my dog with me, and it wouldn't eat it. So that just goes to show you what is up with that.
Really? Doesn't sound good.
No, I was going to bring the dog on the show, but I don't want to tell you what happened to it, but I think it ended up in a restaurant somewhere. Okay, anyway, what are we going to start with? What
We've got
malfeasance?
Well, I wanted to show. Oh, there we go. We got the embedded streams working in the show notes, so that's good.
Yes. Yeah, I'm watching
Let
on the
me just
YouTube.
double check it here.
Watching on D
Looks
Live,
good.
it all looks good.
We're going to start out with Canadian emergency powers ramifications.
Yeah, hey, just want to run out to Trovo Mars 2106. Can you follow me? I don't know where we're going. Okay, go ahead. Roll whatever you want.
Mars 2106 on Trovo. Yes, I can follow you. Just give me a second here. And checks in the mail.
Wherever you go, I will follow.
We're going to bring up the media viewer. There it is. We've got the Twitter post just real quick. And then I have the direct link to the actual emergency powers that were issued. But here it is there. Strange language, but there's a subsection here. And I got this made aware of this on Tooge, with Tooge's crowd here on D Live, TOOJ, through his community. But yeah, this subsection here, these people are the emergency powers they're exempt from them. A person registered as Indian under the Indian Act, a person who has been recognized as a convention refugee, or a person in similar circumstances, an additional refugee protection act, and C, person who seeks to enter Canada for the purpose of making a claim for refugee protection. E, which I'm trying to find out some more information on E. E just says,
well, we're going to have to
protected
We're going to have to
person.
really follow up on this one. You know, I want to follow up on this series next week because the Canadian immigration laws are a very strange thing, and I've studied them because I'm a dual national. So yeah, touch on it, but this one's going to have to be looked into.
It's a protected person. We don't have anything else besides that, so we're trying to find more information of what does that mean.
What is CIC thinking?
But there it is, and we've got in the show notes. I posted it in chat. Here's the whole act, the basics of it. It's not that long, but lists everything here.
Yeah,
So
well,
I wanted to
like
get
I
that
say,
in the show notes.
Readers, viewers, read it. Tell me what you think. Tell us what you think. We'll come back to it next week for sure, because this is a legal matter. And it's going to carry on. Believe me, it's a political hot potato right now.
And moving on, Trucker, this is out of OttawaCitizen.com from the Canuck. Appears that you have an ad blocker running. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Day 24, trespass notice delivered to Coventry Road encampment. S-Jam Parkway will reopen shortly. 191 arrested. So,
yeah, it's over 200 now, actually.
Things have definitely quieted down. Lots of trucks towed. Not much left. Freedom Convoy that converged in Ottawa on January 28th began in response to the federal government's move to require Canadian truck drivers crossing the U.S. border be fully vaccinated to avoid testing and quarantine requirements, but evolved into a protest against all public health measures aimed at fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Do we want to do this video? It's 2 minutes 30.
Is it about them breaking up the demonstrations?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, I've got it up live there.
Might as well. It's pretty visual.
We'll do a little bit of it.
Yeah, parental guidance.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Totally.
We are doing nothing wrong! We are doing nothing wrong!
What are you going to do?
We are doing nothing wrong!
Yeah, there they are. Police. They had all kinds of police.
Are you? All right, you've been assaulted. Are you okay? Morning, guys.
Nice to meet you, brother. My name's John.
The smallest men I've ever seen in the...
What happened? What happened?
You guys are not slaves.
What were you told?
You have a choice.
Power play, come here!
You know, RCMP, Ontario Provincial Police, Ottawa Police. No federal people. No
Well,
military.
I can't remember. There was a other police that they brought in. Begins with, I think there's two P's. It has an acronym, maybe PPO or POO.
OPP.
OPP.
Ontario Provincial Police.
I was checking out.
So they got,
go ahead.
Oh, that's not the only province that has their own police force, in addition to the RCMP. And they have.
So that's Ottawa's local police force?
No, Ottawa would have its own city police force, and the OPP is all of Ontario. Then the RCMP are in designated areas. Like if a municipality or a township or an area does not have their own police force, then the RCMP are generally almost contracted to be the local police. Like, say, outside of Nelson, we have our own police force in Nelson. Right outside of it, it's all RCMP. But Ontario has another layer because they got their own provincial police, which most provinces do not have. There you go.
Yeah, so I was checking out Press for Truth, some of his live streams. He actually had, I did some of his videos recently leading up to all this. He actually had his wife there and his dog. They were in the back of the protest, but they made it sound like a good chunk of the arrests were the was it again?
OPP?
OPP.
OPP,
But
Ontario Provincial Police. And they have a reputation of being, how can we say, heavy-handed. Right?
Yeah.
I was going to say something worse, but I don't want to get in trouble. But no, they don't have a good reputation. And it seemed like most of the people getting arrested are the ones that kept getting in their faces, so they busted them. But I just watched the TV like everybody else.
I don't think we have a link, but they were using horses, and there was
and also yesterday
some injuries.
The police brought out batons and started wearing helmets because they said that they were fearful of their safety.
I also saw Special Forces on the Press for Truth live stream. I think it was a day ago.
It could be. I don't
yesterday.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was filming it. Yeah, they looked like Special Forces.
Well, they might have. Well, they look like Special Forces, but as far as I know, there's been no military action. But we'll look into it, like we always do.
Yeah, there was a live stream. We'll check it out possibly next week. Go through the footage, but
yeah. Well, I'll look into it too, because there might have been military presence, but as far as I know, with the Emergency Powers Act, they handed it down to the locals to use the Emergency Act, but the federal government didn't send in their own troops at this point. There you go.
And so moving on, this is from cbc.ca. From dawn to dusk, here's from how auto police action unfolded.
Yeah, this is pretty good because it basically shows the entire police operation that happened from beginning to end, or recently beginning to end. So yeah, it's what, 2 minutes or something?
3 minutes, but we'll do 2 minutes or so.
Do a minute or two until you get bored.
See if it runs. May not. Let's go.
By 8 a.m.,
Yeah,
they
CBC's
started
really
getting
getting
ready
sketchy.
to mount a massive police operation to
tax
clear
dollars at
downtown
work.
Ottawa of demonstrators and trucks.
For the freedom! Go back to the intersection or you will be arrested.
By 11 a.m., the police lines were clearly forming, with units drawn from across the country. Tactical squads and armored vehicles behind them. It took 22 days to get to this point, and every step was measured and methodical. Police moved slowly towards Parliament Hill. At times, they interacted with demonstrators, warning them to leave.
You must leave. You will be arrested.
As the first of dozens of arrests began, provincial police from Quebec, armed with tear gas, stood by. Drones circled above, officers on rooftops kept a close eye, and mounted police emerged too. By noon, 15 arrests had been made, and police kept inching forward. Despite some skirmishes during arrests, there was little violence at this point while police kept marching in to reclaim the core of the city. The number of officers involved wasn't made public, nor were the number of protesters they faced. Police tweeted protesters were putting children between them and police. The warnings for everyone to leave continued. So did the arrests. As more demonstrators were led away, this man was followed by a family, including young children. For hours, the slow advance, the slow retreat continued. As police got closer to Parliament Hill, protesters dug a snowbank to slow their progress.
No violence here. It's going to be slow, guys.
Despite the shows of defiance, there was minimal force used. Police deliberately did not circle protesters so they could have a way out. As the day wore on, several trucks left. More than 20 were towed away, even as protesters clustered near Parliament Hill. By mid-afternoon, at least 70 people had been arrested, but the real threat of escalation lay ahead as police closed in on the core of demonstrators who refused to leave. By late afternoon, around 5 p.m., police were pushing into the crowds. Mounted forces moved in after police said demonstrators were assaulting officers and had attempted to take their weapons. As night fell, more arrests, upwards of 100 people, and a tense standoff continued. Police promising to work around the clock to clear the area in the days ahead. It is the beginning of the end, but it's not over yet.
All right, so that's from cbc.ca. There's a few things to go over there.
Yeah.
I have in the show notes, I want to take a look at the collusion that occurs between CBC and the Canadian federal government. So that's for a future stream. And two, this is the first that I'm hearing that, and I've watched a lot of live streams at the protests in the last week, almost every day. I didn't see anybody trying to take police firearms and things along those lines. So it seems like they kind of threw that in there to make it. I don't know. We need to follow up on that. There needs to be absolute clarification on that, whether that happened or not.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember this is Canada, and even the really wired up people aren't as violent. I mean, it was more like hockey style fight, push around and stuff like that, but not weapons and things. So it was kind of Canadian in that way. And I think the cops are kind of Canadian too. I mean, compared to the Chicago police during the Democratic National Convention from 1968, for example. Never mind.
So we've got another video, globalnews.ca. Does this one have... No, this shouldn't have music. Let's see how long this is. 2 minutes. Do a little bit of this.
Loud, the message clear.
Sure.
End the COVID-19 mandates now. Hundreds packed into this intersection on the Pacific Highway, shutting down the border crossing Saturday.
We have stepped up our enforcement here. We've stepped up the amount of vehicles that we see because we do want to make sure that we can keep this area safe.
And it was relatively peaceful, if you don't count the verbal assaults and threats.
You're a disgrace to your country. You're a goof. You're far from tough.
Many protesters didn't want to be interviewed. Some took part in civil dialogue.
What can you tell people who are showing a mid-finger to Chapter of Rights?
But others decided to resort to name-calling and threats against police.
Just give me some space.
And media.
Disgusting. Filthy human being. You're a filthy human being. You're disgusting.
The crowd following us back to our vehicle, yelling slurs, hateful rhetoric, blocking our way out. One man spits at our window before police clear the crowd, allowing us to drive away. Other media outlets weren't immune. The CBC's reporter and camera operator also verbally accosted. It was only earlier this week police made multiple arrests in the exact same spot, clearing the access to the border crossing. This new convoy traveling from across BC, standing in solidarity with the anti-mandate rallies in Ottawa. The group made a pit stop in East Van earlier en route to the border crossing, going toe-to-toe with a protest against the truck convoy rallies in Ottawa.
Get out of town.
Is that the message you got?
What a convoy, yes.
It's heartbreaking to me as somebody who is in the disabled and chronically ill community when these people tell me that my life doesn't matter, sick people will get sick anyways.
So far.
All right, so that's from globalnews.ca. But yeah.
Hey, yeah, sorry, but I'm live from Beijing, and you just missed it. They had the globe, the entire Earth. They have the Earth, and they were rolling it across the field of the ice or whatever they're on. Wow. So they got it. China has the entire globe.
If the Olympics end before our stream, then Putin might go into Ukraine. Who knows?
I think he'll wait till morning.
He's definitely waiting.
Well, no, actually, morning's not that far from now, right? I think they're like 12 hours behind. Yeah, probably. Right about the time we finish. Actually, Vladdy told me that he's not going to invade till our show's over because he watches every week.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, he sent me a text saying he's going to wait.
And I was talking to the premier of China. I'm in China right now. And I asked him if he watched the show, and he took the Fifth Amendment again. Like every time I ask this guy a question, he takes the darn Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
Okay, what other coconuts do we have?
This one's interesting. Fortune.com. Fed up Ottawa residents win secret suit to freeze the crypto wallets funding Canada's Freedom Convoy protest.
Now, this is thick. And you notice this is a civil suit. It was brought by the citizens, not the government. Okay, this is going to be another one we're going to have to come back to because obviously it's going to be an ongoing court case. But you heard it here first, or at least second.
So yesterday, a group of Ottawa residents won a private class action lawsuit to freeze at least 146 cryptocurrency wallets and bank assets. I just want to check out this link.
Be careful.
And it is under a paywall. I'll check this out on maybe on archive site.
Yeah, I tried it too.
So seizing the 146 cryptocurrency wallets and bank assets tied to the main organizer of Canada's Freedom Convoy in a bid to stanch funding for the ongoing demonstrations. Known as a Mariva injunction, the lawsuit was filed by Ottawa residents Zexi Lee, Geoffrey Devaney, and the Happy Goat coffee business against key convoy organizers, including Chris Barber, Benjamin Dicker, Tamara Litch and Nicholas St. Louis. The hearing was held in private without public notice or access. Lawyer Paul Champ, who represents the residents bringing the suit, told the Star, a Toronto-headquartered Canadian newspaper. Lee earlier this month won an injunction which barred protesters from honking their horns in downtown Ottawa. The suit is unprecedented for the country, as it is the first time in Canada that a Mariva injunction has ever been used to freeze cryptocurrency, says Matthew Morgan, a crypto and blockchain-focused partner at Calgary-based McLeod Law. He added that the injunction was a powerful legal remedy which can have significant consequences for a defendant. The defendants were given advance notice of the suit, says Champ. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go into exactly how they're going to freeze 146 crypto wallets because...
Yeah, I don't know, but they basically, from my quick read, was that they're somehow saying they're tracking if they're going to translate them into real money or something. Yeah, we're going to have to follow this one up.
Well, they're going to look on the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, and you know, they can see the transactions, but the owners, as long as they have their private keys, that's the only way for them to truly seize the crypto is to have the government or the courts in Canada would have to have the private keys.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be difficult because it's a private suit, not a government suit. And if it's a government suit, then they could get CSIS, which is our equivalent of the CIA here, and Canadian equivalent of CIA is CSIS. But I don't know how much access a private thing can get. We'll have to see.
So at the end here, it says, Burgon argues that using such self-hosted wallets means that it will be very difficult, if not impossible, for Canadian authorities to actually freeze protesters' crypto assets. So this is really an important court case for crypto as crypto moves forward. It's now in the mainstream. Yeah. It's going to, eventually replace all the traditional markets, but this is definitely something we'll follow up on. Very, very interesting, and
yeah,
I think it'll show the power of crypto, which is very much needed. We need a system, financial system, to do transactions that's decentralized, that gives power to individuals and entities, to provide money and to use their money. Without a government being able to freeze it. So it'll be an important court case. Moving on. Oh, well, this is another article similar to this, what we're just covering here. But I'm not gonna go through this. This one states 34 crypto addresses. But I will I'll go through this more thoroughly after the show, and we'll do a follow-up on it. Gotta move
since it's
through.
A court case, it's going to go on. I'm sorry, but since the court case is going to go on for a while, so we'll keep covering it.
And this is out of CBC.ca again here. Canadian Civil Liberties Association to sue Federal Government Over Emergencies Act. CCLA says government's decision to invoke Act infringes on Canadians' charter rights. Canadian Civil Liberties Association announced Thursday that it plans to sue the federal government over its decision to invoke the Emergencies Act in response to ongoing protests and blockades. Emergency powers cannot and must not be normalized, said CCLA Executive Director Noah Mendelson. She said the use of the Act seriously infringes on the charter rights of Canadians. Convoy protests in Ottawa has gridlocked the downtown core for more than 20 days, but it's pretty much cleared up now. The issue with this, what Trudeau has done, similar to like 9/11 where we had the Patriot Act in the U.S., they gave them unprecedented powers to spy not only on foreign nationals but actual U.S. citizens. What Trudeau has done now, gives him an enormous power, and it's going to be hard now. They're going to try to keep as much of this power as they can. I mean, obviously, they're going to have to. Obviously, they're going to have to relinquish it. But what happens a lot in this case is like the U.S. Patriot Act. A lot of that stuck around for a long time. And
yeah, but wasn't that like wasn't that like a law? This is an emergency, pull it out of the hat, and then you have to get rid of it.
Yeah, but from what I'm reading, especially with what's happening with the crypto wallet seizures and the financial seizures, GoFundMe, all that stuff, they really want to try and make that stuff permanent, where they can have that power all the time.
That's why it's being debated in Parliament right now. The Liberals who are in power, aka Justin Trudeau, they have a minority government. They need the NDP to support what they're doing in this, otherwise they could have a vote of no confidence to force an election. But the Conservative Party, which is the opposition, and I believe the Bloc Québécois, which is the Quebec bunch, are opposed to it, and it's being debated. But between the NDP and the Liberals, they do have enough money to certify it. At this point, this Emergency Act is being used, but it has not been certified by the Parliament of Canada, which is supposed to be, and they're going to vote tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was checking out yesterday the live footage, I think it was live, from Parliament, where they were debating it. So that's, they've gone in and they've cleared everything out in Ottawa, but Parliament is still debating the use of the Emergency Powers Act.
That's because it's not just Ottawa. This is a national act. There's been incidences at the Surrey border just south of Vancouver. There's ongoing incidences in Alberta. So as far as the government's concerned, I'm just saying what they're concerned is that this is an ongoing situation. It's not just Ottawa.
Right. So and I think the most important thing to look at, it definitely looks like at the federal level in Canada, they want to keep these methods for freezing assets, financial assets. They want to keep those powers permanently.
Well, yeah, the inclination.
Gotta look and see what they do with that.
The inclination with these people, the government type people, is that once they get it, they don't want to lose it. But we'll just see how long they can get away with keeping it, because right now 2/3, according to the polls, which you can believe or not, 2/3 of Canadians are supporting the Emergency Act. But if it goes on too long and they start losing a lot of support, then it might be a political decision to get rid of it. So once again, folks, we spent a half an hour on this.
We're just going to finish up real quick. This is from nationalpost.com. It was over the weekend that anti-freedom convoy activists hacked into Give Send Go, the Christian crowdfunding site that was used to raise more than $8 million for Canada's anti-mandate broadcast. The hacker then released the names and personal details of donors, usually to raise funds. There was a broadcast breach showing one such actor illegally hacking into Give Send Go and distributing names.
Yep.
And there's been, once these names were released,
harassment.
There was this woman that owns a business,
coffee shop. A little coffee shop in Montreal. She's had to shut down. Yeah, coffee shop, I believe, in Montreal. And it came out that she gave all of $250. And she's getting harassed so much, I believe that she had to close her business for fear of her safety of her customers. And so that's not good overreaction. And our next topic goes completely to overreactions. Maybe we should just go on to that. We can come back about the right-wing guns next week, because we got to research.
Yeah, but we've got some links in there. ACLU and KKK. Check it out. Need follow-up on Coots. There were seizures of weapons on Coots. Was it a far-right group? We need more information on that.
We're going to look into
that. The show notes, and also, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be looking at the CBC colluding with the federal government in Canada. So we're working on researching that. So that's a big one. Also,
next week I'll have some other opinions about CBC. I read an article just today, which is not posted, about the CBC being basically not doing a very good job of reporting the news, and it went very slanted towards the government's view of things. So we're going to cover it. Just too bad. CBC is a great organization. CBC Radio is really good, but CBC TV is starting to leave a little bit to be desired. Let's put it that way.
So moving on, nationalpost.com. Who was Gassy Jack, and
Oh my
why
God,
was his
okay.
statue toppled in Vancouver? The
Now,
one-time
this
bar
is-
owner and riverboat captain is considered by many to be the founding father of Vancouver. And there he
Give
is
me a break.
in statue form.
I mean-
Epithet.
Yeah, it's a wood statue. It was commissioned in 1970 to commemorate a guy that was a pub holder and one of the founding socialite type people in Vancouver. And he's in trouble because he married a 12-year-old Indigenous girl, and then she left him when she was 15. So that's what's got all these women shirts in a knot. And long story short, they tore down the statue while they were having a rather good intentioned march to remember the women that have disappeared in northern BC on what's called the Highway of Tears between Prince George and Prince Rupert. And it's felt by many people that the establishment has not really researched what happened to these. So they have a commemorative march. But the women got a bit carried away. I think we got video somewhere.
Let's find the video. Not sure if it's this one.
And I don't know if it's in this video.
There it is, as it fell.
Spoiler
alert.
Here's
the Twitter video. We can do that.
You got a Twitter video?
Yeah, right here. The moment the statue came down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. That is loud. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, we're going from the beginning. Let's do it.
You don't red paint.
Yeah, somebody could have gotten killed here. Look at that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Did you notice?
Go ahead.
Oh, did you notice it was a guy that actually pushed the statue over first? Or at least it was a woman that looked like a guy. It looked like a guy.
Well, let's do the replay. I can't tell who's holding the rope there to the left. I can't see him.
Oh, I didn't know about the rope.
But this statue comes close to hitting this woman right here.
I know. Really close.
And I remember...
There was kids and stuff there, too.
I remember seeing during the BLM riots of 2020, after George Floyd, there was this drunk kid sitting on a statue like that in the U.S. somewhere, and they pulled the statue down. It came down on him. I'm not sure. I don't think he died, but he was definitely
unconscious. Now, for your education, Gassy Jack, okay, there's a part of Vancouver called Gastown, and it was a really nice tourist area, really vibrant. And now it's part of the downtown. Well, it's always been part of the downtown east side. Now it's pretty sketchy. And, but still, this story and the next one, it's just over the top. Now, I also want to mention, in the downtown east side, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and the cops will not do anything. You can shoot drugs, you can deal drugs, you can pee on buildings, and I guess you can tear down statues, because according to my sources in Vancouver, the cops didn't show up. It took the fire department, because apparently they set the damn thing on fire or something. I don't know. But, yeah.
Come on.
No arrests, under investigation. But I swear, we played that video that I shot in the downtown east side about a year ago, and it was, just do your own thing. And the cops have given up because the courts won't deal with it, right? I don't know if you want to. Yeah, you skip the T thing, I think.
Well, we got the RCMP investigating a calculated and violent attack at Coastal GasLink pipeline.
Now, this is actually more serious because the Gassy Jack thing was somewhat of a spontaneous knee-jerk move by jerks. But this was calculated. And roll this. This is, and I think have time to play it, but the local indigenous band who's been fighting the pipeline has condemned it. Everybody's condemned it. This is really stupid. but it's also eco-terrorism is what they call it.
Talking about light damage here, RCMP are calling it a
Viewer discretion
calculated and
advised.
violent attack with a multi-million-dollar path of destruction. Have a look. These images were released by the Mounties and Coastal GasLink late this afternoon. They show heavy damage to portable buildings and machinery. Here's the backstory. According to police, shortly after midnight, officers from Houston RCMP were called to the Martin Forest Service Road after Coastal GasLink security reported violence at their work site, claiming some 20 people, some armed with axes, were attacking guards and smashing their vehicle windows. 41 kilometers up the Forest Road, RCMP claimed responding officers were met with downed trees, tar-covered stumps, spiked boards, fires, and people throwing smoke bombs and lit sticks at the police, injuring one officer.
Are looking to identify those that may be responsible. At this time, it would be remiss to make a comment on who may be responsible for this, as this investigation is ongoing. Certainly, this is very troubling, an escalation in violent criminal activity, and it could have resulted in serious injury or even death.
A statement from Coastal GasLink reads in part, quote, "Workers fled the site for their own safety and remain shaken by this violent incident. Fortunately, there were no physical injuries to Coastal GasLink workers. Our work is lawful, authorized, fully permitted, and has the unprecedented support of local and Indigenous communities and agreements in place with all 20 elected First Nation councils across the 670-kilometer route. Coastal GasLink is almost 60% complete," end quote. Still, the LNG pipeline does have a controversial history with blockades on Wet'suwet'en traditional territory in 2020, leading to numerous arrests and a string of rail and road blockades across Canada. Now, we just got a statement from Public Safety Minister Mike Farnworth, and he says, quote, "This destructive attack should be condemned by all in British Columbia."
That's from globalnews.ca.
We've covered this before.
Yeah.
We've covered the coastal pipeline and the situation on our in-depth show, which you all should go back and watch on February 6th. We covered Indigenous treaties and rights and situations. And what they were talking about was that the coastal pipeline has the approval of the elected chiefs, and the problems have come with the hereditary chiefs. But the hereditary chiefs have decried this act.
Yeah. And I guess we should, it's 4:43. We should move on to the Winter Olympic updates.
So we might as well, since I'm at the Olympics.
And I'm going to start off with the China Uncensored video. China Uncensored, they're still on YouTube. Thankfully, they haven't been banned yet, so that's good. And I'm going to jump around, but the main thing, I want to show the food that's being served to people.
Oh, yeah, I had some of that. Yeah, that's
athletes,
what they served me.
Yeah, to athletes that have been that were quarantined at the Olympics.
Yeah, well, like I said, when I got to China, I snuck in looking like a panda bear, so they put me in a cage and they fed me some of that stuff, and I didn't eat it. Go on. That's all BS, by the way.
And it goes way beyond the record low ratings.
I'm actually in Canada.
Here are 10 ways the Beijing Winter Olympics have become a dystopian nightmare. Number 10. Let's start things off with a good visual of the games. Set the stage. Here's the slope.
There it is. That's classic. This is what I wanted to get in with our Olympic coverage. I forget what this event is, where they go off the ramp, but these smokestacks, it's just amazing. The massive Beijing 2022 logo
industrial
on
site.
this huge smokestack.
For the freestyle skiing big air competition.
Wasteland, from what I understand.
There's the cooling towers in the background.
Industrial site, abandoned.
That's because the slope is in
now
the middle of an
that's
industrial.
not good optics, is it?
That's it right there. You can see the ramp, that white. That's the ramp. So that's where these athletes were doing that event. That's what they were surrounded by. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, nice, really pretty. Yeah, right.
Industrial wasteland. To be fair, it's a reclaimed industrial wasteland. Shougang was a massive industrial park that was closed back in 2011. And now it's being repurposed as a tourist attraction, which is leading to a debate over whether this is inspired or dystopian. But this brings up the bigger issue of how Beijing was an odd choice for the Winter Olympics, because it has no snow. This is the first Winter Olympics that's relied entirely on fake snow.
So yeah, that's another big one. Massive amounts of water being used. There's another one here. There's guys in full like hazmat. They look like they work in laboratories, like at the Wuhan lab, but he's actually just making a martini.
Oh,
so here we go.
So you get weird things like this. A bartender mixing cocktails in a full hazmat suit.
So is that how you want to get your martini served? That's the first time I've seen that.
What would James Bond say?
Well, maybe New York City should open up a bar like that where the bartenders are all in full. All the bars would be the bartenders would be in full hazmat suits, serving martinis. There's probably going to be a bar like that open up in the East Village or something.
It would be booked solid.
Quarantini.
You think the East Village? I would see it more in the.
That is when they don't break down.
Up around
and
Fifth
of course,
Avenue.
Olympic athletes were greeted by this friendly guy
Midtown.
administering COVID tests. And COVID is still spreading.
Yeah.
Let me find the food. Here it is. Food's coming up right here.
Foreign athletes in
makes airline
can't
food look good.
This is what a Russian biathlon competitor said they were feeding her.
Hospital
pasta,
food. Anything.
orange sauce, meat, and potatoes.
I mean, look at that. I mean, it's like...
I don't want to look at it.
It's like... It's just the worst. It looks like the worst slop you could ever cook and serve to anyone. And imagine being
you're an athlete. Are you athletes?
Being told you're positive with COVID, so who knows how you're feeling as an athlete? And then how are you going to get better eating this food? And this is what they were doing to this Russian Olympic athlete.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days straight. She wrote, "My stomach.
I know what. Well,
very
star
pale,
athlete
and I
will
have
just say he
huge
has
black
COVID, make him
circles
eat
around
this
my
for 2
eyes.
days, and for
I
some
want
reason
all
didn't
this
show
to
up for
end.
competition.
I cry every day. I'm very tired. On top of that,
I mean,
there's
I thought
little
they were
to no
spending
internet.
a lot of money
the rooms
on
aren't hygienic,
catering, but
and there's no training equipment. But the problems for Olympic
I think
athletes
they're
were
dissing these
just beginning. I'll have more after the break.
We got to look into it, but I bet the Chinese athletes that get
As
COVID
if bad
get
food
better
wasn't
food
enough,
than that.
foreign.
So here she was about to Kim Williams. She was in quarantine, and then they took her out of quarantine. She thought she was going to be able to get back to competing, but then they quarantined her again.
Beijing. She was put into quarantine. After a few days, she tested negative twice, so she thought she was going to be released. An ambulance came to pick her up. Here's what happened.
On the way to the village, we did not turn to the village, but the ambulance went to another facility where I am now.
So she was told she had to stay in this government facility for 7 more days, with no contact with anyone.
And let me find, I think there was, did they go over the skater that fell? Oh, this is training abuse. I guess we can do a little bit of this, and that'll be it for this video.
Sure.
There can be quite the backlash, as there was with Zhu Yi. Do you think the
Zhu Yi was the one that fell. There was a Chinese figure skater who fell twice during the Olympics.
Right.
And all the Chinese fans were very upset. And we're condemning her because she failed the Chinese people at the Olympics in figure skating.
Olympics are about sportsmanship and bringing the world together?
Off to re-education camp.
They're about winning gold medals for the motherland. And Chinese officials will do whatever they can for a competitive advantage.
Isn't that what they
According to the
South
South
had
China
those,
Morning
didn't
Post,
he?
China is now selecting athletes based
re-education.
on their DNA. And when nature can't give them an advantage, there's always nurture, meaning rigorous training bordering on abuse. A former Chinese figure skater described the dehumanizing training abuse she suffered. She was regularly hit with a plastic skate guard after she made mistakes. And another punishment involved being kicked so hard with the toe pick of a skate that it bloodied her shin and left a lasting scar. Years ago, I did a full episode about the hard life of Chinese athletes. It's pretty...
So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the Chinese Winter Olympics this year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
and, of course, there was the Russians, you can't say they're Russians. You have to call them the ROC because they doped up so much they got banned. But didn't some skater come on with 3 different drugs she wasn't supposed to have and blamed her granddad?
She's 15 years old. From what I read, she was tested, but then the results didn't come until she was already at the Olympics. So then the results came. She was tested before the Olympics. Then she came to the Olympics, and then they revealed her tests, and it showed positive for, I believe, 3 different heart medications. She said she got them from her grandfather or something by accident. But they're basically stamina boosters of some kind to build stamina. Because of her age, the Olympic Committee, I guess, allowed her to continue to skate, and she won gold, but she's not going to be rewarded the gold because of the positive drug test. And they're going to clarify it after the Olympics, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. Allow her to compete, but there must have been something possibly going on, some agreement.
Well, some people are making a lot of money, though. You've got a link here that.
Yeah, well, that 15, I forget the name of the girl, but her coach is like world-renowned figure skating coach, and I think that was it more than anything else. She was one of the most prominent athletes at the Olympics. She, more amount of attention was put on her, so for them to not allow her to skate would have been outrage.
Vladdy would have been.
Yeah.
Vladdy would have been.
Vladdy probably would have just went straight into Ukraine and kept going into Europe.
Yeah,
if that happened,
he would have been so mad it would have destroyed a country. But like I say, some people are making a lot of money by going over and working for China. Now you got the insider skier Ellen Gu makes millions endorsement.
Yeah, that's what we're going to go over first, and then I have a contrasting story about a Chinese model, but this is Eileen Gu. I believe her mother is Chinese. No, I'm not sure how she gets a Chinese last name. I guess maybe she took her mother's name. I don't know. But she has made big bucks as the face of more than 20 brands in China, raking in $31.4 million in endorsement deals in 2021 alone. We covered her a little bit in a past show. She's from California, I believe, and she decided to skate for China because of 31.4 million in endorsements.
Oh yeah.
Her face has been plastered all over China at the Olympics. Chinese people are buying up her merchandise, her merch.
Really?
It's flying off the shelves, selling out. And she did win gold in the freestyle skiing event. Very interesting. But the other story, and she looks more Caucasian. There she is here on the left. Not the woman cleaning the window here, but she does. She looks more Caucasian than Asian. And I wanted to provide this other story. She does. This other story that
looks like typical Southern California girl.
Because I remember another story. Now this is this woman here is a model in China, and this is from supchina.com, which I've been getting a lot of articles from them. Nationalist online mob goes after Chinese model for having slanted eyes. After social media users posted photos of an old ad campaign, angry mobs went after the model for the way her eyes look, which they claim played to offensive Western stereotypes about Chinese people. So there's a huge contrast. You have Eileen Gu, looks Caucasian, and she skied for China, and all the Chinese people embraced her, and then this poor Chinese model.
It's too Chinese.
Too Chinese. Eyes are too slanted. It's absolutely bizarre. I don't know why.
Some of those people.
Chinese.
I have no personal information on this, but I've heard that some people with the money, they get their eyes widened so they don't look like so slanty.
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me.
And
but that's kind of unfair.
And then also for many centuries, like aristocrats in China had fairer skin because they didn't work out in the fields, doing harvesting rice or whatever, and that was a sign of nobility or aristocracy to have pale skin.
Yeah.
And so it's very strange. I actually think that Chinese social media is actually more ruthless, I think, in some ways than social media in the United States and the West.
The whole culture, like we covered a few weeks ago or a month ago about a black athlete from the United States working for them to play basketball on one of their little teamy things, and he was coming out of the game, and the people were yelling N-words at him with no remorse. And so I don't know about that country, dude. I just don't know.
Well, it's going through. Social media is just not a good thing in China.
A country that's 3,000 years old is
than here in the US.
A 3,000-year-old country is going through growing pains. Like, give me a break. All right, what else? What other nuggets you got for us?
So China's hockey ringers lose 8-0 in Olympic debut.
Yeah,
so China
like
goalkeeper Jeremy Shimsisi reaches for a goal by the United States' Brian O'Neill during a preliminary round game at 2022 Winter Olympics on Thursday.
It's like the movie Slapshot, except that had a nice ending, and the guys I think won it. But then they brought in ringers. The IOC lets people hire athletes from other countries, or like, what is with this?
The 25-man team includes 15 foreign-born players, 11 from Canada, 3 from the U.S., and 1 from Russia. I would think they probably would have had more Russian. There's a lot of good Russian hockey players.
But why are they allowed to do that? These are guys are skating for China. At least the other woman had some Chinese roots in her. These guys don't
because
look Chinese.
The Olympic Commission allows this in order to help countries.
We're going to do a show.
Hype up the Olympics.
We're doing a show on the IOC, baby, because there's more cobwebs in there than you got in your closet. All right, so what's going on?
The ringers didn't do well. The ringers didn't do well.
Hey, good.
And there's it's 5 o'clock.
Oh, if
I'm
you're
not
going
to go over it, but there's a good link here on the CCP's new COVID app, which is actually not exactly Olympic related, but it's also another video from on China's Uncensored. Check it out if you want in the show notes.
Sure.
We're going to go over this one quick because the Canuck had sent this. Opponent's classy act of sportsmanship allows Canadian skater to secure a medal.
Yeah, no, this is a warm and fuzzy story. I just wanted to include something that wasn't icky. We have to do that once a show in order for us to be on the nice side of things. And also another un-icky thing, although the Yankee doesn't agree with this, I want to give it up to the Canadians women's Olympic hockey team for winning gold medal.
They beat the U.S. though.
Yeah, I realized that. I kind of watched it, and it was so that's there. So anyway, this is a nice story. This is somebody doing something nice. You try doing something like this guy did as often as you can.
Canada's Laurent Dubreuil captured a silver medal with the unlikely assistance of his opponent, paired against medal favorite Kai Verbij of the Netherlands in the men's 1,000-meter-long track speed skating event in the Beijing Olympics. Dubreuil rocketed out of the gates during his opening laps, which led to one of the unlikely highlights of this edition of Olympic Games so far. Verbij sensed there was a great risk of colliding during one of the final turns and pulled up short, allowing Dubreuil to continue his excellent performance unimpeded in a powerful show of sportsmanship.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. Now you see, this is good.
So it does. Good sportsmanship does happen. It's still there.
It's probably more prevalent than people think it is. It just doesn't get reported. Because, come on, you and I are journalists, and unfortunately, we can't cover that somebody had a nice day. You know, the people across the street, they made cupcakes. You know, there's all kinds of good things happening out there. It's just nobody seems to, it's just not news as such. You know, maybe on the Oprah channel or something.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to Ukraine, the Russian-Ukraine conflict.
Oh, boy, back into the nest again. Okay.
Actually, I'm checking out BBC for the latest news, and not much has changed since the last time.
Well, that's what you said, Yankee. You said they're waiting until the Olympics is over, then they're going to...
But anyway, I wanted to cover this. And Gypsy Mom actually got me these links because I was checking it out in Discord, Tooge's Discord. I was trying to remember who it was. It was Bloomberg. So this happened a little while back, and this was published February 17th, but Ukraine accuses pro-Russian rebels. Actually, sorry, I have the wrong article. Let me get the right one. It's this one here.
Oh, the Bloomberg.
Bloomberg announces Russia invades Ukraine.
Oops.
And this was posted way back on February 5th. The news agency apologized for accidentally posting a pre-written headline. Bloomberg news agency published a headline that read, "Live, Russia invades Ukraine," back on February 5th.
Oh, man.
It went up on its homepage around midnight Moscow time and stayed there for nearly half an hour before it was removed and an apology for the mistake issued. So that occurred.
Well, they had the headline ready.
This is New York Post, cross-referencing, also reporting. But then also you had Biden, I don't have links to it, but Biden announced that Russia would be invading on February 16th, and then that day passed,
he did.
and there was no invasion. But then there were some shells, rebels on that eastern side or whatever, in Ukraine, where the rebels are, the insurgents.
That's what's going on.
They did start shelling.
That's what's going on, man.
Shortly after the 16th of February, so
that's what's going on.
There was some kind of intelligence, and something
shelling.
It's possible.
Live.
It's possible that Biden's
people are dying.
Intelligence
There's already
was
been
accurate.
Latest updates: 2 people have already died. There's active shellings on the villages next on the Ukrainian side of the insurgency zone, which was supposed to be a ceasefire, and I predicted it for at least over a month that Vladdy Boy is going to use saving the Russian people and supporting the insurgents as his false flag to go in and invade part of the Ukraine, but not all of it, which means the West won't know if they should go in because he hasn't really invaded Ukraine. I mean, he took over Crimea, and nobody Crimea'd over that. So, yeah, that's my view. That's my prediction.
We got some video here. This is from mirror.co.uk off the Reddit post that I had in the show notes. So let me see if I can get this to run. I don't think there's audio. It's kind of grainy. It's distant. Hard to see, but that's huge explosion rocks East Ukraine after imminent Russian invasion. That might have been February 18th, around there.
Yesterday. No, 2 days ago.
Or it might have been yesterday. I'm not sure.
Ugly.
So the blast was said to have happened at the Russian separatist city of Luhansk. I don't know why this video is playing. I've got videos playing out of nowhere. Sorry about that. So blasts were said to have happened at the Russian separatist city of Luhansk just 40 minutes apart late on Friday night. The explosions in Luhansk, where a gas pipeline is claimed to have caught fire after a powerful explosion reported by the Russian Interfax news agency. And that's interesting. Maybe we should check out the Interfax news agency for Russian propaganda. Comes amid fears of an imminent invasion, with tension simmering along the Ukrainian border, where 190,000 Russian troops are said to be in attack positions.
Whoa!
Figures were saying 100,000, but troop buildup is increasing. So the Mirror is reporting 190,000.
Wow, that's a lot of guys in arms. Tanks,
so people from
pro-Russian
areas have been evacuated. You can see them there. Here's Biden probably talking about the imminent
Russia
invasion.
Russia has a pretty styling air force too, and they could do a lot of damage out of the clear blue sky, so to speak. No pun intended.
So that's it for Ukraine, Russia, but there'll obviously be more we'll cover next week. I'm going to move on to security stuff.
Just about everything we're covering this week is going to have to be followed up, which is good. Gives us something to do.
So, just to be aware, be vigilant. Zero-click hacks are growing in popularity. There's practically no way to stop them. Cutting-edge technology means even the most skeptical, scrupulous targets can be spied on. So be careful.
Wow.
As a journalist working for the Arab News Network, Arabi Ranaya Daridi said she's taking precautions to avoid being targeted by hackers, keeping an eye for suspicious messages and avoiding clicking on links or opening attachments from people she doesn't know. Daridi's phone got compromised anyway with what's called a zero-click attack, which allows a hacker to break into a phone or computer even if its user doesn't open a malicious link or attachment.
Ouch.
Hackers instead exploit a series of security flaws in operating systems such as Apple's Inc.'s iOS or Google's Android. To breach a device without having to dupe their victim into taking any action, once inside they can install spyware capable of stealing data, listening in on calls, and tracking the user's location. And also, this is from Indian Express. Zero-click hacks are growing in popularity. There's practically no way to stop them. Once the preserve of a few intelligence agencies, the technology needed for zero-click hacks is now being sold to governments by a small number of companies, the most prominent of which is Israel's NSO group. So we've covered them in the past with Apple.
Yeah.
And that Saudi Arabian reporter that was assassinated.
Yeah. Yep.
This is similar to the other article, but here, once the preserve of a few intelligence agencies, technology needed for zero-click hacks is now being sold by NSO and others. Bloomberg News has learned that at least 3 other Israeli companies, Paragon, Kandiri, and Canuck Software Limited, have developed zero-click hacking tools that will offer them to clients, according to former employees and partners of those companies, demonstrating that the technology is becoming more widespread in the surveillance community. So that's 3 other major companies out of Israel. We'll have a follow-up on these. I'm going to do research on them. And you know what? I am going to make a note of that. Just give me a second here.
Sure.
Hacks. Finding false media, zero-click hacks. Follow up on these Israeli companies. All right, I'm just going to update the show notes. All right, moving on.
Well, by the way, show notes, for those of you just tuning in, are things that you can find at variant-news.com, and they have all the links that we use on the show and links we try to use on the show or links that we think you're interested in. So that's what he means by show notes. They're public information, variant-news.com. Right? That's a PSA. Public service announcement.
And just want to finish up with security stuff. 2021 has broken the record for zero-day hacking attacks, but the reasons why are complicated and not all bad news.
Mm-hmm.
A zero-day exploit, a way to launch a cyber attack via previously unknown vulnerability, is just about the most valuable thing a hacker can possess. These exploits can carry price tags north of $1 million. And this year, security defenders have caught the highest number ever, according to multiple databases. Researchers and cybersecurity companies who spoke to MIT Technology Review, at least 66 zero-days have been found in use this year, according to databases such as the Zero-Day Tracking Project. almost double the total for 2020 and more than any other year on record. So this is
wow,
quite an increase. But while the record-setting number
serious.
grabs attention, it can be hard to know what it tells us. Does it mean that there are more 0 days being used than ever, or are defenders better at catching the hackers they would have previously missed? An increase is for sure what we're seeing. Hackers are operating at full tilt. One contributing factor in the higher rate of reported 0 days is the rapid global proliferation of hacking tools. Top of the food chain are government-sponsored hackers. China alone is suspected to be responsible for 9 0 days this year, says Jared Samara, Director of Vulnerability and Exploitation at the American cybersecurity firm FireEye Mandiant.
Wow.
But also, those Israeli companies are a huge problem also.
Yeah, well, it kind of started there, didn't it?
Well, yeah.
NSO?
NSO, at least at the... sending the
commercial level,
sending the exploits to government entities. Yeah, NSO kind of leads the world. NSO and those Israeli companies, they lead the world in that. Moving on to crypto, is Bitcoin still a hedge on the U.S. dollar and inflation as big banks and hedge funds come into crypto? Will it make it more like traditional markets? Bitcoin's been going up and down and it's unable to break its highs that were in the 66,000 range back in November last year. So we're kind of seeing possibly some kind of transformation, but we don't know yet. Many have likened BTC's, Bitcoin's anti-inflation properties to those of gold, but there are important differences between the two assets. On February 9th, the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that Consumer Price Index, a key measure capturing the change in how Americans pay for goods and service, has increased by 7.5% compared to the same time last year, marking the greatest year-on-year rise since 1982. In 2019, before the global COVID-19 pandemic broke out, the indicator stood at 1.8%. Such a sharp rise in inflation makes more and more people consider the old question: could Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency, become a hedge asset for high inflation times? Ironically, the fundamental reason behind the unprecedented inflation spike is the U.S. economy's strong health. Immediately after COVID-19 crisis, 22 million jobs were slashed. National economic output saw a massive decrease. The American economy kickstarted a massive recovery on the heels of the relative success of the vaccination campaign. However, supply chains appear to be unprepared for such a rapid return of business activity and consumer demand. The rebound was fueled by the Biden administration's grandiose $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. Some economists point out a more subtle factor, an alarming exercise of corporate pricing power by U.S. businesses. Now producers know people can pay more and will be unwilling to accept lower prices for their products. Now that inflation has become a major political problem for the Democratic Party, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve's efforts to solve it. Bitcoin is a new gold. With every year that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency sector become more mainstream, the frequency of comparisons with gold in terms of reserve asset potential multiplies. Many observers suggest that Bitcoin could even be more attractive than the precious metal in this regard.
Interesting.
In November 2021, the permanent cryptocurrency was up by 133%.
There you go.
Unlike gold, Bitcoin lacks the key features of a predictable low volatility asset. Maybe this doesn't pose as much of a problem for a faithful diamond hands hodler who believes in Bitcoin's ultimate monetary dominance, but for someone who has invested a significant share of their personal savings as a shield from inflation, the unpredictability could be unnerving. In some sense, Bitcoin's price swing strongly contrasts the relative stability of gold, which serves not as a wealth multiplier but as a preserver of purchasing power. In theory, Bitcoin should make for a good inflation hedge because there's a limited supply of tokens that can be mined. That creates a form of scarcity, which could help it hold its value over time compared to fiat currencies. But still have to see. The Federal Reserve in the United States was supposed to raise interest rates. I mean, I thought they were going to do it now, or at least back in January, but they're now saying they're going to do it next month in March. So we'll have to see. When they start raising those interest rates, we've got to see what happens in the crypto markets. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum,
that'll
the
be
two
interesting.
leaders.
Yeah, I mean, my dude, they're inordinately low right now. So even if they raise them a little bit compared to, well, in the early 90s, it was, I don't know, 18% or 12% to the banks or something insane like that. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. It's all money. Personally, I don't have much of that stuff, so I don't have to worry about it.
I'll give you some. We'll do a live stream, and I'll send you crypto on a live stream. I want to actually start working on that, doing that on live streams, doing wallet transfers. So we're going to look into that. Well, let's finish up with crypto. First, multi-chain DEX simplifies complex routes between blockchains. Cross-chain aggregators become essential to harnessing the power of interoperability and liquidity in DeFi.
Right.
So one of the big issues in crypto is, how do you move around between, say you got Ethereum, but you want to maybe move some of it into Cardano or Solana or the other way around. And this is what it's trying to do, just better connectivity between all these tokens and major platforms like Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, Cardano, Bitcoin. Part of what makes trading cryptocurrency so complex is the sheer number of blockchains and exchanges at play. For example, users who want to transfer a Binance token that exists on Binance Smart Chain may have to go through several steps to achieve their end result of Luna tokens on the Terra network. Especially when considering new users, this process may require significant time searching and comparing decentralized finance tools. Even advanced users must consider how they will track, wrap coins, tokens, blockchain fees, and learn the ropes of multiple UIs. In fact, a quick look on Twitter will often reveal just how many questions the community has about bridging solutions. Rising to solve this need is the creation of a cross-chain decentralized exchange aggregators, each of which looks to intelligent algorithms to fulfill trade orders across blockchain ecosystems. The result is that aggregators can execute orders instantly and at the best price, better utilizing the abilities of DeFi. Rango Exchange aims to improve this process as a cross-chain DEX aggregator with competitive features. The exchange effectively becomes a super aggregator, combining DEXs including Uniswap, SushiSwap, and Bancor, with DEX aggregators like Paraswap, Matcha, and 1inch, with cross-chain DEXs like Thorchain, rounding out their offerings with centralized and decentralized bridges such as TerraBridge and Cosmos IBC.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
So I'm definitely going to check this out. I'm working on a crypto wallet, and stuff like this definitely helps me. I'm actually working on a Binance Smart Chain wallet right now.
You really
creating that. So, and so if you're into crypto, definitely check this out. Binance, I don't know. I mean, long term, Binance has definitely. There are rumors it has connections to CCP, China connections, and there has been some issues. The UK has been regulating it. I even think I've got to look in the United States exactly, but definitely UK Binance is running into some issues. And I think our friend Gary Gensler at the SEC here in the United States, he's not too fond of Binance, I don't think. So there may be some kind of the SEC may be getting involved with Binance.
Well, if anybody can find it out, it's you, dude, because you're like the cryptoholic of the month for sure. And you're doing a feature show because you can't cover everything on our show because we have limited time. But you're still doing the feature show on Mondays or something like that?
Yeah, I'll be doing a show tomorrow. So if you're interested in crypto, I'm I'm looking at I'm actually gonna work with Jacob and have him as guinea pig. I'm going to set him up a crypto wallet, get him all set up, and we're going to actually do a live transfer.
Watch that.
A live transfer of I'm going to figure out which crypto, but something Ethereum or Ergo or something.
That's must see. That's going to be must see TV. I got to. Oh man, if you can get Jacob on.
So I want to do it live to show everybody that it's. This is how it's done visually, and it's not complex. You just got to take it one step at a time.
It all sounds rather Greek to me. I mean, like this thing and that thing and the other thing.
The tools are getting there to the point where it's just going to be an easy button, but we're not there yet. Eventually, it'll just be an easy button, and that's all you'll have to do. But we're getting there. We're just not there yet. So we have come to the most important part of the show, and that is Bizarro News. It's the only part of the show that actually has meaning. And we're going to do it.
Finally, this is the stuff that the world is really made out of. All the other stuff is made up. It's all smoke and mirrors, baby. But this is the real deal right here. And I didn't see it.
I wanted to check out the chat. Max9 was in the chat, and he was referencing, I believe, the emergency powers in Canadian Parliament. He states they will take up the debate on Tuesday because of the holiday on Monday, is what I understand.
Yeah, and also they were delayed on Friday because they couldn't get to the Parliament, because they couldn't go to the Parliament to debate the Emergencies Act because the Emergency Act was being used and they couldn't get into the Parliament. So there you go.
And Max9 also states, I have been following the action in Ottawa. Edmonton is ramping up too. Peaceful, friendly people who are just asking to be heard. Yes, British Columbia, not too far from the Canuck, and Vancouver, they've been protesting there also.
Yeah, the Peace Arch border crossing south of Vancouver in Surrey, British Columbia, has been being challenged. I found a video, but we're not going to play it today, but they're not being very Canadian. Like, we're supposed to have this image of being polite and civil type people. The protesters, not all of them, but some of them are really, really mouthy in it. And the trouble with Vancouver area is that there's these people that they don't care about the cause. I mean, they burned the town down practically because their team lost a hockey game. So these are just people, a lot of them, that they don't really give a damn about the cause. It's just a chance to go out and be really, really rude. And that's a little editorial for you, but that's coming from a British Columbia citizen.
I get the impression that people rage pretty hard in Vancouver. And when you rage that hard, you kind of get out of control.
That's what I said. And the thing is, here's a factoid for you. Most of them are not Vancouver residents. They live in the valley, in the Fraser Valley, and in the suburbs. Granville Street, a popular entertainment center in Vancouver, used to be really popular. Now it's on the skids. But they were having people coming in and creating all kinds of drunken fistfight havoc. And it turned out that 90% of them were from Maple Ridge or somewhere just outside of town. So don't get me started. I get emotional about my home province. But yeah, I mean, the nut jobs after the Vancouver Canucks lost a hockey game actually went out and rioted in downtown Vancouver and burned cars and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a bunch of whack jobs around here, and they do not represent the majority of the people out protesting peacefully. Thank you very much. So what do we got for Bizarro today?
We've got from ProvidenceJournal.com, we have Stuck at Sea, the latest on the burning car carrier that never made it to Rhode Island. I'm not sure. Does this have music?
I can't remember.
I'm going to play it real low. It's 30
I'm very
seconds.
upset because I had my Lamborghini that I ordered and had to wait 8 months for deliveries on this boat, man.
Really?
And your Porsche's on there too, from what I understand. The one I bought you for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? It's a 911.
Yeah. All right, let's check this out.
It's full of really fancy cars.
So thousands of luxury cars are stuck in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on a chartered cargo ship.
And apparently it's free game. Like, once it's abandoned, anybody can go get it.
The Felicity Ace was en route to the U.S. when it caught fire 850 miles from Portugal.
There's a video.
On board were 22 crew members and nearly 4,000 vehicles.
Wow.
Including Bentleys, Porsches, and Audis.
And I read Lamborghini. So.
The Portuguese Air Force and passing oil tanker helped rescue the crew.
Way to go.
No one was hurt in the filming of this video. Okay, no animals were hurt. No human beings were hurt. Just want to let everybody know that.
It's just a bunch of really, really, really expensive cars and sitting in the ocean burning. Boy, that's Western justice.
All right, now moving on. CBC.ca video. Innisfail Diary Queen Facebook. This video shared on social media showing a bear being fed a Dairy Queen ice cream cake on its birthday. What the hell?
I believe that I sent you. It starts at something or other. It's too long to play the whole thing, but it seems to me I could send you the cue here. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, did you give everybody kisses?
Oh boy,
this
such is life.
I think she's gonna
bear is fat enough.
Questions from our viewers, Mary.
Well, yeah, that's the part. All right, now listen. I live with bears. I have more bears as neighbors than humans. Okay, and if we leave cat food out, they'll come down. And this woman thinks she's a bear person. She's got a reserve, and she's feeding a Dairy Queen ice cream. If you go to about 8 minutes, I think.
Does the bear then attack her?
No, it's all petted out, man. It's totally domesticated.
The bear's been licking it and not getting anywhere, really.
No, it really doesn't know what to do. I mean, like...
All right, so this is the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, it gets good here because the guy gets up close and personal.
So they knew who we were, what we do. They
But,
contacted us.
and she's talking
look
about...
at those bear claws.
Well, I know. It was like an orphan.
Take her head off.
It was an orphan. It's like people having pet cougars and stuff like that. You know, but a Dairy Queen ice cream, and she's saying it's healthy.
Berkeley's been here since the first week of April, and
No, the icing is the worst.
She says it's good for you. It's dairy. This is Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen is not known for like gourmet friggin' ice cream.
Bear literally licked it probably for like 6 minutes straight and got nowhere.
Oh, and she's been camping out with that thing. It wants nothing to do with this cake.
She sleeps with the bear?
Well, that's not in the video.
Oh.
You think they sleep bare naked?
Yeah.
Bare naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe.
Bare naked?
Maybe.
Never mind.
Bare naked ladies?
I can't bear this any longer. No, but really, I live around bears, like serious bears. Big, huge, 400 or 500 pound black bears and stuff. And when they're out and around, we can't even leave like cat food out or nothing. Like when I have a barbecue, everything has to
All right, so are you ready for the next video? Is everybody ready for this? Because viewer discretion is advised. Checking out chat here. We have, why is that bear awake this time of year? Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Oh, that's
like
because it's not supposed to be. I mean, and she's saying, well, it wasn't sleeping because it's a pet bear is what it is. It's totally domesticated bear eating ice cream. And okay.
All right, this next one, this one's good. I think everybody's going to like this one.
First at 6. If it hadn't been caught on camera,
so. Check it out.
Take a look at
there
the video
it
of
is.
the car jumping the overpass on 131 at the door exit.
It's kind of grainy, but you can you see the car going over?
Oh yeah, it's just a flying car.
It looks like a Hollywood stunt. Well, check it out again.
Yeah, this guy was drunk.
The
Apparently.
overpass on 131
there it
at
is.
The door exit.
See it? Goes right over. It could have hit an 18-wheeler.
It could have hit anything.
Samples. Reports that Michigan State Police say
the guy crawled out the back window or something.
Appeared to be drunk.
Yeah,
You've
there's a
seen
good
that
shot.
incredible video, but here's how it started. An eyewitness told me the driver whose car went airborne was heading southbound on 131 when he veered off the highway onto the strip in between the exit ramp and the southbound lanes. That's when he went airborne over the 142nd
He's facing all kinds
overpass.
of criminal charges.
Never seen anything like that before.
Only in a movie.
It was Dukes of Hazzard
there
Live,
it is.
or maybe Fast and Furious, depending on your age.
It was quite spectacular as far as
watching that car insane.
Flying Mike Rodriguez.
We spend a lot of time finding this stuff, people.
Anyway.
Yeah, isn't that great?
I can't believe he's alive. Like he wasn't even unconscious. He had some scrapes. I don't even think he had a concussion.
Back window I think and I'm not sure, but I think he was sort of trying to get away before the cops got there, but it didn't work out very good.
There's his car. Here's a good shot of the damage. So it's pretty significant damage.
You could think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the takeoff right.
I think
landing,
it probably helped that he was drunk.
Oh yeah, apparently that really helps. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the injuries, like you're better off being loaded when you crash like that.
Yeah, because you're relaxed, and you should do that if you ever fall. Pretend you're drunk and relaxed. Don't tighten up as you fall. That's like when you jump out of an airplane or something like that, and you land. It's distributing the weight. So even if you're not drunk and you fall down, don't get uptight about it. Pretend you're drunk.
Yeah, but I would think he's pretty much screwed.
Oh, he's screwed. He's facing 3 or 4 different charges, and his car's all racked up. I don't think I doubt that the insurance company's going to cover.
Yeah.
It.
Well, the state police should use that as a "don't drink and drive" commercial, right? Just show this guy.
Yeah, you know what would happen? No. You know what happened? It would go on TikTok and it would become a dare. It would. It'll be on TikTok and it'll become a dare, and all kinds of people do it. They'll go out and get drunk and try to pull it off, but get the landing right. No.
Don't give people ideas on TikTok.
That's right.
Jesus.
Do it.
It's
a bunch
horrible.
of kids trash laboratories in the public school.
Actually, I was following a lot of the early part of the Ottawa convoy on TikTok because there's so many people that were streaming from Ottawa.
Figures.
I got to get back on TikTok, but it's hard. It's hard to go on a platform like that because it's just brutal.
Try getting drunk and go on it.
It's a brutal platform.
You gotta be drunk like that guy driving to be on TikTok. Okay, what else you got?
We have from CNET.com Super Bowl commercials.
We're gonna play a few of those, and then we better get out of here. We've been on for a while. Play 2 or 3. I don't care.
You want to do the Schwarzenegger BMW?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
This first one. I think I saw some. Yeah, I saw this one.
Macchiato for a.
Were you in California when he was governor? I was.
Zeus?
Zeus. No, you left.
Whoa.
No, yeah.
Kind of like Greek out of lightning?
Right around.
Like that.
Right before he came into office, I think.
Yeah, well, he gave us an amnesty. Everybody that owed back taxes got an amnesty. In California state income taxes, he just said, well, if you owe us money, forget about it. And it was like, I was lucky enough to have owed him a whole bunch of money, so I was quite delighted. I liked the guy. Anyhow.
Oversharing mom. We'll check it out.
No idea.
Did I tell you I bought our
good.
car from Carvana?
Yeah, ma.
It was so easy. I found the perfect car. Under budget, too. And I get 7 days to love it or my money back. I love it. I thought online meant no one to help me. But Susan from Carvana had all the answers. She didn't try to upsell me. Not once. Because they're not salespeople. Where do you guess who just checked in on me?
Mom.
Susan from Carvana.
We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
What? What is even Carvana? Was it a share? It's you share the car? What the hell? First ever all electric Chevy. Let's see if there's something else. We did this one already. We'll do one more. But let me see if there's something. Robo the dog. Nissan Thrill Driver. Holy shit. Well, alright. Weather Tech, big game commercial, special ops fit crew. You know what? No compromises. Let's try this one.
Hang on! Wait! Time for this dragon to fly.
All right, I've actually seen this one.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, it's in the show links. Watch Super Bowl.
Well, let me see what happens in this one. I don't know, those aren't, these two weren't as good as the first one I saw.
No.
Of this one. I can't
these
remember
are
this.
just really soft.
What is this guy's name? Eugene Levy.
Oh, yeah. I think he's...
I can't remember what movies I've seen him in. He's been in a bunch of
been in a
movies,
few.
and I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that's an...
They're in the show links. I don't know. I wanted to do... There's that guy. What the hell is that comedy show? It's pretty popular. Anyway, he's done a crypto ad for FRX or something. This new crypto exchange. Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll do that one next week. That one's pretty funny. The comedian's Larry something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I keep seeing it every day on YouTube, so it's been drilled into my brain.
Yeah.
We got Jacob in the chat. We will be in touch. Yeah. I'll talk to you soon. Mazo Mas. I'll get you set up with the crypto wallet. We'll do a live stream.
Thanks for watching,
Send
dude.
some crypto. Thanks for hanging out.
Stay in touch.
But yeah, that's it. We finished it up. It's 5:36 p.m. here in Eastern time zone of the world.
Yep.
And we're going to call it a show. But we'll have another show next Sunday. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. We got Max9 in the chat. Thank you for your support. Mazo Maz. And the list goes on.
Follow and share.
Patrick78. Thank you to all our truck drivers earlier in the chat.
Let's go back to...
Thanks for hanging out.
Let's get out of media view so people can see us say goodbye.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you big. There you go.
I got the Olympics going.
You got the Olympics behind you.
Well.
I'll make me small, you big. You got some figure skaters there. It looks really nice. Hopefully we don't get YouTube doesn't sue us. But your big head's in the way. They can't call a copyright strike.
It is rather large. Yeah.
But it was a good show. It was a good show. We went through a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff. We got a lot of homework to do, a lot of research to follow up on. Yeah.
Yep.
And
once again, we really want to thank everybody for supporting us, and big shout out to all the fellow streamers. We're working on creating more of a streaming community, and any ideas you have, any part you want to play in our quest, we're ready.
Yeah, we've been checking out Jitsi. We did the promo show for this show yesterday on Jitsi. Yeah. Still learning it, but I think we got the hang of it. Learning the ropes. It's a really cool app. On. If you're streaming, check it out. I'll actually I'll put it in the chat, software that we're using.
Sure.
Because we got Max9 was in the chat. He streams here on DLive. Check him out. And I'll put
really nice.
Jitsi software in there.
Great.
It works really well. You can bring in group chat, and any person in the group can easily share video links.
Yeah, you post video links.
And there's no
very cool
drop frames. There's no the audio.
I was impressed.
Really good. Video's really good.
We did a test yesterday, and it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. I think it's on DLive for a while, but I was really impressed with the quality. So we're probably going to start using that, but we want to work out a few bugs with it and get to know it a little better.
Give me a second here.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5. I just want to post the link.
Oh, okay.
Big tech regulation, emergency powers, and it's not showing up. I don't know why it's not showing up. I'll put it in the chat after the stream. We got to end the stream.
Yeah.
But I'll put those links in there, the YouTube video and Jitsi. So we're going to call it a show. Thanks, everybody, for your support.
Yep. Later.
And take care. Be safe.
Until next week.
Rock on.